Hey guys, welcome back to another tattoo tips video. Now this video is going to be not tips exactly, more of things that I've learned that I wish I knew when I first started out in my tattoo career. This video is probably going to be geared more towards people just starting out more than a seasoned artist, but you never know. It may reinforce something that you forgot about. So let's get started. Number one, guys, is every customer that walks through that door to get a tattoo deserves your time. Their money is no different from Fred, who you've just done a sick portrait on, or a mint trad piece. You know, just generally something that you have loved doing. Often in our careers, we come to think that we're entitled to do the stuff that we want, and we treat the stuff that we don't want to do with less enthusiasm, and you think you think that you've kind of outgrown it, and that you don't need to be doing those pieces and stuff, and that you shouldn't be doing those pieces because you're a super badass tattoo artist, tat master, tat wizard that's balling, you've got fucking money in bank, you've got it in your back pockets falling out everywhere, you've got your little gold chains on, your little Sullen t-shirts, your Sullen hats and stuff, your fucking mint ass watches, got a little Rolex on the side and stuff. Alright, you get the picture. So you think that you shouldn't be doing them. Well, do them, because if you don't, you become accustomed to like your way, and not everybody wants a tattoo your way, and eventually it may dry up. You might find that it may dry up, and you've got to do the tattoos that you just don't want to do. It's as simple as that. You really are going to start hating the job. So get used to doing them and enjoy doing them, guys. Definitely enjoy doing them. Everything that comes through the door, just enjoy it. You could be working a 9-to-5 laboring job, actually really having to earn your money. So just take a step back, look at the position you're in, and just enjoy it, guys. Number two, try not to limit your audience. When it comes to marketing yourself, market yourself as an all-rounder. Definitely as an all-rounder. Don't tell everyone that you just want to do one thing. Although we may like doing these things, guys, there's the definite chance that you will become known as the guy who only can do or only does certain pieces, and you end up losing out on tattoos to other artists. So market yourself as an all-rounder. It will definitely benefit you. It pays off more in the long run. If you can't do something, then fair enough. Definitely don't do it. If you do not feel comfortable doing something, do not do it, guys. If you're just going to fuck it up, possibly suggest another artist in the studio that you're working at, or even if there's no artist at the studio that you're working at, guys, that can do that piece, there's plenty of artists on Instagram that I'm sure you follow that you'll be able to suggest the client to go to, that's going to be better for the job. On a side note, also remember when it comes to tattooing designs that you want to do, say in a certain style, say for example a portfolio piece that you put up that you want to do, say that you want to do it in black and grey. Well, you do it in black and grey, there you've instantly cut off 50% of your market, maybe more depending on the market where it's at. Tattooing goes through phases where a lot of people, it goes through a black and grey phase, then it'll go back to a colour phase, back to a black and grey, it'll go into some like Americano or traditional. There's loads of phases that tattooing goes through, but just remember that once you've cut off like say 50%, like I say, or 60%, and then you say that you want to do it on a forearm, you're cutting that 50% then into like 25%, and then you say also that you don't want to do cover-ups. Why would you want to do a cover-up on a portfolio piece? You just wouldn't want to do that. But take note that you've then cut that 25% to a further 10%, so you've eliminated your market from 100% down to 10%. So definitely just keep that in mind when it comes to your designs. Be really open on placement especially, and you'll do a lot better. Number three, stop lowering your prices for cancellations and to fill like any spare spots that you've got, guys. As tempting as it is, this is only going to serve you well in the short term and doesn't benefit you in the long run whatsoever. All that happens is clients end up waiting until your price lowers to book in. Pretty soon you've got everybody seeing the same pattern. You'll put up day rates at, say, your 400, and then you've had a cancellation, so it's a cancellation, I'll put this up for 200 or 150, 100. Oh, it's just something I want to do, guys. I've been really wanting to do it. I'll bang this up at £50. Who wants it? All that happens, like I said, is customers end up seeing the pattern of what you're doing, and they aren't stupid. What they'll start doing is holding out and holding out and holding out until they get a price that they want. They don't want that tattoo as much as you want the money, guys. So just remember that. There's no point in putting your price down for anything. Keep it set all the time. Number 4, never compromise your standard of work to accommodate for a client or for a reference that the client's brought in, especially in realism. If it is realism, always ask for more images, way more images. If they don't have more and you aren't a busy artist and you really need the money and it just isn't viable for you to turn the work down, then by all means go ahead and do it. I have created a video which is on my YouTube. The link will be in the description to show you what you can do with any bad reference to make it a little bit better. But always explain to the customer that the tattoo is only ever going to be as good as the reference they are providing. They may have seen your work that's brought them to you, and they may be thinking that they're going to get that same caliber or same standard. They may not know, but you might have done that tattoo from a 50 megapixel picture where you could see every little bit of skin pore. So make sure you do tell them that, you can only do as good as what the reference is. But that's that one. Number 5. This one's a really, really, really important one, and it's something that I've seen multiple times in multiple studios that I've worked at while I'm like guesting and stuff like that. Be aware of your studio surroundings and who's currently in the tattoo studio. All customers, when they get tattooed, they're nervous, especially if it's first timers. They're nervous, they're scared, they don't know what to expect. So as soon as they get in that chair, they like to find their comfort zone. Some of these comfort zones that clients go to would be to like talk about sex and like dogging. I've been in a studio where there's been an actual girl client talking about dogging. So it does happen. They may flirt with you, all right, but then they may go to like the other opposite end where they like to talk about their interests, what they do, how they live their life, being vegan, for example. I've had a lot of people like to talk about veganism, and I know nothing about veganism. I don't pretend to know anything about veganism, but I try to relate best to the customer as I can. But as an artist, it's your decision on how you approach these types of scenarios. But remember, embarrassing the client and making them feel even more uncomfortable is not good when they're getting a tattoo. Like I said, guys, it is their comfort zone. Be as professional as you can. 4 booths down, maybe in a big studio, 3 booths down, one of your colleagues may be tattooing Edna, who's an 80-year-old woman. It's her first tattoo. It's her first experience in a tattoo studio. And trust me, if she hears like people talking about dogging and sex and rape and whatever else, all right, that's going to ruin her experience. She may not want to hear that stuff. So just take note of your surroundings, guys, in the studio. It looks bad on you and it looks bad on the studio. There you go. I think this is number 6. I'm almost positive this is number 6. But no matter how good you are, you may never get busy. I'm sorry to say it, guys, but if you're coming into this industry and you feel that you're going to be absolutely balling, you've seen Miami Ink, you've seen LA Ink and whatever other tattoo programs on these days, you see the lifestyle and you see how they're living and stuff, and you're like, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. And you think you can just come in and dominate the industry. No matter how good you are, it may never happen. So don't rely on your skills as an artist to bring in the money. It doesn't work like that. The market is way too oversaturated now. There are a million artists out there, cheaper and better than you, but there's also cheaper and shitter artists. And trust me, 80% of the clients will take the cheaper and shitter option all the time. They don't know what good artwork is. They're not educated on good artwork. And unfortunately, this day and age, good marketing, whether you're shit or good marketing is always better than any good tattoo. So don't rely on a good tattoo thinking that it's going to bring work in, because it won't always. Number 7, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Constantly have to be pushing yourself. If a piece you are doing doesn't scare you, or at least have you thinking on how you're actually going to do it, then you aren't progressing. So don't be idle. But there's a nice quick little tip for you. Number 8, it's the artist, not the machine. We all have certain things, don't get me wrong, that we like in a machine. More give, less give, lower cam, better weight, more balanced. But the machine doesn't produce the work, okay? It's still being guided by the artist and his hand. The artist is behind the machine. Essentially, you should be able to pick up any machine and use it effectively. 90% is technique, guys. 10% is machine setup. So don't get caught up in the machine race between the big companies. Above everything, work on your technique, and I promise you it'll be better than any machine that you buy. Are we on number 9? Is this number 9? Number 9. We'll say it's number 9. Process butters, i.e. hustle butters and inkies, all that fancy shit, guys. You do not need it. They'll often come in from a selling point of it reduces redness. Now, I know people in this area, and I do apologize to these people. They know who they are, but it is not needed. Machine set up for the tattoo process correctly for the specific client and the specific area that you're tattooing. Your technique, redness should never ever be an issue. Sometimes someone, and it happens once every blue moon, will come in and you'll touch them once with the needle and then they've gone super red. It's just fucking tomato red everywhere, and no matter what you do, no matter what adjustments you make, you just can't, you just can't seem to get rid of it. Now, even then, even in these cases, again, this might happen to an artist, and then they may feel that they need a process butter because they don't want this to happen again. Because when that does happen and they do go tomato red, it is very off-putting. Black and grey especially, maybe not so much with colour, because you've got the nice colour saturation in the skin anyway, and you're packing in and you can see your blends a lot better. But when it comes to black and grey, you need that skin to be as light as possible so you can see your tones, you can see your blends, you can see if you need to go darker and whatnot. But anyway, like, they may get like this redness and feel like they need to go straight for a process butter, but you really don't. If you're doing black and grey and that happens, just leave the area, go and work on somewhere new. By the time you've worked on that area, go back to the area that you were previously on. It should have settled down enough for you to darken up or add any sort of tone that you need and do what you need to do. Process butters, having said that, process butters will work, alright, and they will reduce the redness. They are not a gimmick, they do work. However, you don't need them. So don't feel like you need to rush out and buy them, because you don't. Top tip for companies that are making process butters: if it smells good and it goes with his machine, you're golden. Number 10, and I feel like this is actually one that's overlooked quite a lot, and that would be artists that are jumping from studio to studio to studio. If you're guesting around, then, fair enough. But if you're an artist that goes from one studio, stays there for a couple of months, goes to the next studio, stays there for 6 months, goes to the next studio, stays there for another 6 months, and especially if it's like scattered across the country, all you're doing is you're building up a clientele at that studio, then you're leaving, you're having to build up a clientele at the next studio, then you're leaving, then you're going to have to go and build a clientele up at the next studio. So it's just a cycle, guys, that you don't want to be getting into. You will never be making good money while ever you are jumping from studio to studio. You definitely need to pick a studio that you like, work with artists that you like, and stay there. You will never build a clientele while you're jumping from studio to studio. You'll never get pieces that you can continue while you're jumping from studio to studio, because odds are if the client's been going to that certain studio a long time, whether you're there or not, they're going to still carry on going to that studio. So if you started a back piece, you're not going to finish it. So there's that as well to think about. So definitely don't jump from studio to studio. It also doesn't look good on you. Other artists in the industry, when it comes to, you know, you wanting to work out, rent a chair from their studio, they're going to be thinking, well, why has he jumped from this to this to this to this in a year? It just doesn't look good. So try to find a studio and stick to a studio. If you're guesting around and that's what you do and that's how you make your money, you've got guest spots lined up at every studio, then awesome. But if you're local, stick to a studio, don't jump. Anyway, guys, that is my things that I wish that I'd learned before I started. I do hope that's helped you out. As always, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out my Instagram, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios.